Hey everybody, Arachne Queen here, and I am here with Rosie. And I've been getting a lot of messages lately about people who are wanting to select their first tarantula. They want to get a tarantula, and I think that is awesome. That is so exciting. But I decided that I would offer some advice about choosing your first tarantula. So first and foremost, make sure that you understand that this is a pet. It's an animal, it's a life, it's a creature that needs your attention, your respect, and depending on who you ask, your love. Just because they're pretty simple to take care of and a lot of them don't move much and things like that doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve your full respect and care. So keep that in mind. It's not just a pet that you can purchase, kind of care for, and just ignore it. No animal, no creature deserves that. Now, do they all want to be handled and cuddled? No. But it still deserves your respect and care. So make sure you understand that. Also, tarantulas, especially females, are very long-lived creatures. Rosie here on my shoulder is at least 13 or 14 years old. And that's pretty old, considering a lot of animals don't even live that long. So it's a long commitment, and you have to be ready to keep that commitment the entire time. Don't just give up the tarantula. Don't kill the tarantula just because it gets too old or anything like that. It's a responsibility, and it's going to be probably a 10-plus year responsibility if it's a female. 2, do your research. You need to kind of decide what kind of tarantula you want and what that entails. First and foremost, are you comfortable feeding an animal, living animals? Because this girl here eats cockroaches. They're living, they're not frozen, they're quite alive. We have to feed them. So if you're not comfortable feeding animals to other animals, don't get a tarantula, period. Just don't. Do you want a terrestrial species or an arboreal species? Terrestrial species are on the ground. Arboreal species are up in trees and plants. That's another thing to consider because that will change the entire cage setup and also kind of the temperament of the tarantula. Do you want an old world species or new world species? This one, I'm just going to kind of recommend straight up. You want a new world species. If it's your first tarantula, I recommend new world species. Old world species tend to have more of a attitude problem on them, and also their bites are considerably more painful. So as a starter, I'm going to recommend either a Brachypelma, maybe a Grammostola for a starting. There's several avicularias that also make, if you want a arboreal species, many avicularias make great first-time tarantulas. So these are all things you need to consider when it comes to selecting a tarantula. If it has the word baboon anywhere in its name, I wouldn't recommend it for a first time. So also you need to remember that there's going to be a variety of personalities within a species. There are generalities, like the Brachypelma smithi is usually an awesome first-time tarantula. They are living rocks, they are slow growing, they are beautiful. But you're always going to find that exception. There's going to be that one hellion out there that is awful. And that happens. It's just how it is. Like in my example, as you know, I have 2 Grammostola roseas. I have Rosie here, who is sweet as can be, doesn't care who holds her or anything. And then we have Tumble, who, when I tried to get her out for this video, she threat postured me. Yeah, and well, she finally came down from the threat posture, but she was in it for quite a while. So there's always going to be varieties. Also, there's going to be weird things that your tarantula does that no one else's do. Like Merida, she's a Brachypelma albopilosum. Now, I studied them quite a bit before purchasing her, and it said nothing about burrowing because they're not typically burrowers. Merida loves burrowing more than life itself. She loves it. Like if I mess up her burrow at all, she promptly fixes it. She's quite good at it. So you're always going to find weird little personality quirks in your tarantula that no one else has, and that's something a lot of people need to realize. When you go and pick up a tarantula, hopefully after you've done your research, never impulse buy a tarantula. Never impulse buy a pet, period. You should never do that, and never gift a pet unless you know that person will want it and take care of it. Like if somebody were to gift me a tarantula, that would be fine because I would be able to take care of it and love it, and heck yeah, tarantulas make great gifts for me. But so if you go to the pet shop, be wary of the names they use for their tarantulas because they use common names that I'm pretty sure they just kind of make up half the time. For example, right now at the pet shop locally here, there's a baby tarantula that they have listed as a Colombian giant fireleg. It's a Brachypelma bohemi, I think. And if I'm remembering correctly, there's nothing particularly giant about it, and it's never going to be particularly giant. I mean, I think they're medium-sized, but they're not going to be like a bird eater or something like that. As cute as can be, it's like the size of a quarter right now. So keep that in mind. Make sure you do some research and everything like that. Tarantulas are incredibly rewarding, beautiful pets. And they may not be for everyone, but for those who are ready to commit to an animal that's a little different and a little strange, then I absolutely recommend tarantula. Go out, get one, give it a good home, and make sure that you have enough space for it. They don't take up much room, but just make sure you have enough room for it. Do your research, and I'm sure that it will not take long for you to find your new 8-legged best friend. So make sure that you like this video. It helps me out a lot. And if you really like this video, you should subscribe and find out more videos about taking care of tarantulas and loving them as pets and stuff. And Rosie is just exploring all over the place. You can check out my Facebook and my Twitter, which I will post in the description. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to let me know. And if you didn't like this video, well, then you're a hater, and we all know what haters are going to do. They're probably going to impulse buy tarantulas. So thank you for watching. I've been Arachne Queen, and I will catch you guys next time.